Hello, everybody. Brian Oxy here, back with my post-apocalyptic Mad Max fighting game. I'm kind of been messing around with. I've done some other videos, kind of showing the idea behind it and how it works. But uh, but what I did was I had created I've created 64 fighters, all different strengths, weaknesses. Here's a little formula that I came up with to rank them 1 to 64. You can see the number here at the bottom. And what I did was, in my mind, there was 4 different prisons. Each prison had 16 fighters that were fighting to win the title of not only their prison, but to make it to the final four, the ultimate battle. And I just ranked them, and I just went down one, skip. So one was in the first one, and then five, and then so I just skipped that way to get the brackets, and then seeded them according to their number and played them all out. So a little backstory for each guy. So I thought this may end up being a little bit of a longer video, but I'm going to talk about each, give a little quick bio, and then kind of walk through how each one got to where they're at, and then we'll play the matchups, and then whoever wins will play for the ultimate title. So um, I guess first up we got Seth Brennan, or no, we got Travis Gentry, and he won the Redstone 3 prison title. Um, and Gentry, he's in prison to start with. He's a little smaller in stature, hence the half pint nickname. Um, he was kind of working with 2 different factions. The kind of the leadership of this territory is, it's called the Order of the Chains, and the people kind of fighting against that is the Unchained. And there's different factions in there, and he was working with one, and then started working with the other, and was kind of being Robin Hood, stealing from one, giving to the other, and one found out about it and kind of set him up. So he got caught, and so uh, he's in serving some time in Redstone 3. So his bracket, he was seated ninth, and he got a knockout in his first match. Then he upset the number one seed in a he had a couple tight fights. He won two nothing in that one, and then the next match he won 1-0, and then he got a knockout um, against the six seeded fighter who had made it back through uh, the losers bracket, and then in the ultimate like title match, he kind of won pretty easy, 7-0. So that's Travis Gentry. And let's see. Next up, we have Seth Brennan. Um, so Seth, he was actually a former prison block enforcer. Uh, just a just a nasty dude. And there was a riot in he's in Ash Yard 16, and there was a riot there a couple years ago, and he took things a little bit too far and got in some trouble. And so instead of, you know, he's kind of in, he's still in pretty good graces with all the people there. As far as like he's not in the main group of prisoners, but he is in trouble and he's locked up. So he obviously they turned to him to kind of be their guy in their prison. Um, so he was a number three seed in Ashyard 16. Um, let's see, he he's pretty good in the whole territory. He's the ninth ranked fighter overall. He got three consecutive knockouts, and then he won his last two matches. Then his fourth match he won 9-0, and then in the championship um, he won 11-0. So he kind of rolled through Ashard 16, which I guess would be expected. He's pretty good. It's kind of surprising he was only the third seeded guy in that prison, but he's here in the final four. So next up we have Harry Blue Collar Doyle. So or Frank, sorry, Frank Blue Collar Doyle. Um, so Frank was working. He got it in. He's in Stone Cave 11, and um, for kind of stealing, kind of similar to Gentry. He was stealing, but he was actually stealing from the Order of Chains and kind of spreading it out to different factions across the territory. And he got caught, and of course, the Order of Chains not big on people stealing from them, so um, he was put in prison, and kind of a bad dude. He's he's got some power, but so Doyle, he was seeded eighth in Stone Cave 11, and he won his first two matches 6-0. Then he had a pretty tight one against the second seeded fighter, but he ended up winning. And then he did get beat. Then the second, so Bishop, who was the second seeded fighter, Doyle beat him 6-0. And then Bishop came back through, won his next match, got a rematch, and won very easily 10-0. But then Doyle came back. Uh, it was a double elimination, so he came back and won the ultimate match to advance here to the final four. So our last fighter is Danny Riptide Finley. Um, so in the territory, there's a shortage of water. It's post-apocalyptic, a lot of fallout, a lot of tough times, and he was he kind of dipped into the Order of Change water supply and had had some stuff running to his faction's camp that wasn't exactly supposed to be happening. So they found out about it, and again, stealing from Order of Chain's not a good idea. So he's in prison for that. Um, so Finley, he's in Rusty Pond 5 prison, and he was seated fourth in that prison, and pretty easy couple first wins. He won 7-0, 5-0. Then he took on the second seeded guy Rowe, and he knocked him out. But then his next fight, he was facing Kane, who was the overall number one seed, and Kane knocked him out. So then there was uh, both fighters had lost once, so it came down. And this was a very good fight, if I remember, back and forth, and Finley kind of pulled it out at the end and won 3-0. So those are the four fighters. Um, the first matchup is Gentry against Brennan. Let me get all my stuff. So we got Brennan and Gentry. Now, like I said in the previous videos, there's a red corner and a blue corner. Um, the cards are sided with red on one and blue. There's some other cards in there. They are evenly matched. So the fact that one's in red and blue, it's not like home and away. There's no advantage for being red or blue. It's just a way to separate the two guys when you're flipping the cards, see what happens. So um, now I hadn't done this during the tournament, but I am going to do it here. I come up with a pre-fight chart, and the pre-fight chart, what that does is it, what happened, good or bad, to this certain fighter during the week leading up to the fight. Now, what I came up with is not every week. Some weeks are just going to be, nothing crazy happens. So each fighter is going to roll the Fury die, and if it's a circle, then we're going to roll on the pre-fight chart. Um, and if it's anything other than a circle, then we're just going to assume that the fighter had an uneventful week. Now, what the pre-fight chart's going to do is in this game, um, each fighter initially starts with 12 points, um, and you'll see how it works if you haven't watched other videos. But they start with 12, so the pre-fight could affect their starting number. They could either go up or down depending on what happened to them. So let's see here. If I got, should have been more prepared for this, I guess. I need a white die. There we go. Just in case. All right. So we got Seth Brennan. Let's see if anything crazy happened to him this week. I got a square, so no. What about Gentry? No. Okay. So uh, no adjustments on any of that. If we do go to that, I have this chart here that we're going to roll. It's a D66 chart. And we'll give it a little shuffle here, and then we'll start the fight. So this is the semifinals. All right, give it a cut. All right, try to adjust this a little bit. Put the cards in there. That's pretty good. It should be able to see. All right. So each fighter is going to start with 12, and I have my scorecard over here to the right, or I'm keeping track. Let's see if I can. I don't know if there's a good way to do that. Well, we'll just go with it. All right, here we go. So we're going to see if the blue fighter has tough, and he does. So that just means he defended, so he doesn't lose any points. Now, does red have pressure? And he does. So the fact that he has pressure, um, that's going to take one away from Gentry. So now Gentry's down to 11. Does blue have speed? He does not. So nothing there. Red, does he have pressure? He does again. So Gentry down to 10. Does red have footwork? He does. Now, in any result that comes up, if the fighter has it, they get a chance for a bonus roll. You can think of it as a counter on defense. You can think of extra opening on offense. But so for Brennan, he's going to get a chance. He's going to roll the Fury die, and he doesn't get any. He initially doesn't get any points because he's on defense. but it's possible he could get 2 points if he rolls a triangle, or 1 point if he rolls a triangle. And he didn't, he rolled a circle. So that'd be 0. Does blue have power? He does. So he's going to get at least one, knock Brennan down 1 point, and a square will knock him down another point, and it's a circle. So it's just 1. Does blue have power? Yep, he does again. And it's a square. So that's going to be 2 points down for Brennan. So Gentry is leading 10-9. Does blue have block? Well, that's a defensive quality. He does not have it. So he's going to lose a point. So now we're tied at 9. Does he have dodge? He doesn't have dodge either. So it's another point off. So now down to 8. Does red have speed? He does. And he's going to get a chance for maybe some bonus points here. And he gets a square. So no bonus points. But he's got Gentry down to 7 now. Blue have speed? He does not. Does red have pressure? Yes, he does. So another point. So we're at 9-6 Brennan. Blue have footwork? He does. He won't get the bonus point. Blue have pressure? He does. He's going to get 1 and... no, just 1. So 8-6 Brennan. Does red have dodge? He does. So he avoids losing a point. Blue attack is good. So an automatic point for Gentry. Knocks Brennan down to 7. Does red have combo? He does not. So no points there. Red have chin? He does. He has chin. Oh, no bonus with the circle. Blue have block. Oh, he doesn't. So he's going to lose another point. So Brennan up 7-5. Blue does have footwork. Can he get the point? No. Alright, so here's one of the special cards. It's a take that. If the fighter has either the counter or pressure quality, he gets to roll. And if he rolls a triangle, it's an instant knockout. Alright, so yeah, he has both counter and pressure. So triangle, Gentry knocks out Brennan out of the blue. Nope, doesn't have it. Alright, so red have dodge? He does. Does blue have chin? He does. But no bonus. He doesn't have block though, so he's down to 4. Red have footwork? He does. Needs a triangle. Nope. Blue has footwork as well. He needs a triangle. Doesn't get it. Does red have counter? He does. So he's going to knock Gentry down 1 more. So now it's 7-3. He doesn't have combo though. He does have dodge. Alright, second win. The trailing fighter gains back 1 space. So Gentry's going to go from 3 to 4. Does red have block? He does not. So he's going to get knocked down. Brennan's at 6. So we're at 6-4. Oh, red have power. He does. And a square is going to give him 2 more. Nope. He just got the circle. So just back down to 3 for Gentry. He's hanging on. Well, he doesn't have dodge. So he's going to go down to 2. Kind of in trouble here. And Brennan has pressure. So now he's down to 1. And oh, red does not have combo. Gentry hanging in there. Red has dodge. And that's it. Red and blue both land an attack. So Gentry's out. Brennan wins the match 5-0. So Brennan is going to move into the championship match between whoever wins the next one here. So that was kind of a back and forth a match. Gentry hung on, but Brennan eventually kind of took control there right at the tail end of that one to pick up the win. Alright, so now we're going to have Frank Doyle and Danny Finley. Go to cut. Get our two guys up here. Doyle will be the red and Finley the blue. And we will roll to see if either fighter had some things happen this week. Circle will check the chart for Doyle. Yep. All right, so Doyle had something going on this week. I'm gonna get the pre-fight chart out here, and it's a 35. So he received a better sell during the week due to good behavior. So each of these results has this small little chart you're going to roll on. So because he received a better sell, better conditions, he's going to roll on the severity chart 2, which is a plus. So he got a circle, so he's going to get +1. So Doyle is going to start with 13 instead of 12. So let's see if anything happened to Finley this week. And it did. It's a circle. And 14. So it says the warden promises a better sell and treatment with a win. So Finley, let's see what's going to happen with him. He got a circle, so he's also going to be at 13. So not too big a change, but anything can help. All right, so we got Frank Doyle and Danny Finley, and the winner is going to take on Brennan for the ultimate title. So right off the bat, both fighters knock each other down a point. Blue is going to get a +2 attack, so Finley knocks Doyle down to 10. Is he tough? Finley doesn't have the tough quality, so he's down to 11. Does Red have combo? He does. So you get 1, and it's a circle, so just the 1 point off. So now we're back tied at 10. Red does have chin. Doyle has chin, and he's going to get the bonus. He's going to get a bonus point for having that. So Finley's down to 9. Does he have counter? He does. So 1 and just the 1. Does Red have block? He does not. So he gets knocked down. So Doyle up 9 to 8. Okay, so this is a card I throw in there. During, say you're doing any kind of tournament, or you're doing, or there's teams or something like that. If there'd be, if one fighter, in how I'm playing it, if one of the fights, say these guys had fought before, and the match or the fight was within 3 points, like a decision, then they would be considered rivals the next time they fought. But doesn't apply here. They haven't fought each other. This is the first time. Does Red have chin? He does. In a circle, he's going to get a point. He does not. So Doyle up 9 to 8. Red have combo? He does. So 1 point. Just the 1. So Red's going to get a good attack. So now Finley's down to 6. That's 9 to 6, Doyle. Blue doesn't have block, so he's down to 5. Is Red tough? Yes, he has the tough, but square won't give him the bonus. Blue have footwork? He does. And it's a square, so he's going to knock Doyle down 1, 8 to 5. Is Red tough? He is. No bonus. Blue does not have block, so now he's down to 4. He does not have power. All right, take that. So blue, let's see, does he have counter or pressure? Yes, he has pressure. So on a triangle, Finley's going to get the instant knockout. Triangle, wow. All right. So Finley was down 8-4, but landed a crazy punch to knock out Doyle, and he'll advance into the championship. Wow, that came out of nowhere. All right, so we're gonna have Brennan against Finley. All right. So yeah, so Brennan was the third seeded team in his bracket, and Finley was the fourth in his. So it could be pretty interesting to see what happens. So in my mind, this was like a weekend semifinals, and then the guys have a week or a couple weeks off until the championship. So we'll go ahead and roll in the pre-fight to see if anything happens to either of the guys. You know, week leading up to it, um, and you keep track of what they were. Like I said, I think one of them. I'm not sure if it was. I think it was Finley. He got the warden promised a better cell and treatment for a win. So he, you might just say, you know, you roll on the plus chart, coming into this fight, or you could just say, even though he had a great cell and stuff, something else could have come up, um, during the week that would affect him coming into this fight. All right, go to cut. All right, so that's ready to go. All right, let's see anything for Brennan. Nope. Anything for Finley? No. All right. So both fighters are going to start with 12. And here we go. So like I said, Brennan had pretty much cruised through his bracket. Had a little trouble with Gentry, but semifinals. Figure that's how it should be. But we'll see how Finley does. He in his bracket, like I said, he had a couple easy wins to start. Then he had a tough match. Then he had a couple. He had a knockout, then got knocked out, but then came back and won decisions. So, all right. So here's the championship: Seth Lockout Brennan against Danny Riptide Finley. All right. So does Blue have dodge? He does. So avoids losing a point. And Red also has dodge. Red has power. All right. So Brennan's gonna knock him down 1 point, and that's it. Red is tough, but he won't get the bonus. Blue is not tough, so he's going to lose another point. So Finley down to 10. Um, he does have combo, so he's going to get 1 point and 2 points for the bonus. So now we're tied at 10. Blue have footwork. He does, but no bonus. Does Red have pressure? He does. So Finley down to 9. 10 to 9. Is Blue tough? He's not. Unfortunately, if he had the tough quality, he would gain two points back, but he's not. Doesn't have that quality. He doesn't have power. He does have chin, and it's a square, so he's going to get 1 more point. So we're tied at 9. Red has dodge. Red has footwork. No bonus. Blue does have speed, so Finley going to use his speed here to knock Brennan down a point for having it, and then a bonus point. So Brennan down to 7. Wow. He has footwork. No bonus. Red also has speed. Brennan. Oh, wow. So he's going to knock Finley down 1 for speed and then 2 more for the bonus roll. So Finley from 9 to 6, and now Brennan's up 7 to 6. Blue does have dodge. Each fighter is going to knock the other one down a point. So now Brennan up 6 to 5. Blue has pressure. So now we're at 5-5. Red has counter. Up 5 to 4. They both knock each other down 1. So Brennan up 4 to 3. Oh, wow. So big attack by Brennan on Finley. So Finley's going to go from 3 to 1, and Brennan is up 4 to 1, and looks like he might win this. All right, second win. The trailing fighter gets 1 back, so Finley back up to 2. Does Red have combo? He does not. Does Blue have combo? He does. So he's going to get 1. Oh, no bonus. So Brennan up 3 to 2. Red is tough. Well, if he gets a triangle here, it's over. Oh my gosh. Triangle. So we got the bonus 2. Finley was at 2, so now he's at 0. So Brennan would win the fight 3 to nothing, and the ultimate championship of the territory. So that's just one kind of way I've been playing this. If you want to try this, I mean, really, as far as the cards go, for each of these qualities, you got power, speed, combo, counter, pressure, chin, dodge, footwork. Trying to think what the other one is. Footwork, block, and tough. So there's 10 qualities they could have. I have 5 cards each that have the red and blue and each of these qualities. So there's 5 cards that are just like this with counter and red and blue. So that's 50 cards. I want to say I have one card that's a +1 attack. I have one that's +2. I have a few of these cards in there. Let's see, we didn't run into that one. Okay, there's 2 of those. Just to give you an idea, if someone out there is watching this and you're like, hey, I could make up some cards and try this out. Just kind of looking to see what extra besides the just the regular cards. I have it written down somewhere, but all right. So those are just the excuse me, the 50 cards that are 5 power, 5 speed, whatever down the line, and red and blue. Even distribution, easy for me to say. All right, so it looks like I have 2 cards where the fighter just gets a point taken off the other guy. I have 1 where it's 2 points, and then I have 2 that they both lose a point. I have, let's see, one that asks if they're tough. where they can gain two back. You got one that's a second wind where they could, the trailing fighter, you could either gain one or two. They have take that where if the fighter has counter or pressure, triangle being instant knockout. I have a quick strike where if they have speed or combo, they could get a knockout. And then probably the only the card that would be the one that maybe is the most uneven, and it's not really uneven, but super punch. If a fighter has the power quality, you'd roll the fury, and if it's a square, it's an instant knockout. If they don't have power, it would still be a triangle would still get a knockout. So those are the cards that are in the deck. If anybody thinks this is kind of a neat idea, there, to be honest, it could go really deep. You could have bios for every fighter. You could have backstories. You could have, instead of tournaments, you could have each prison has a team, and you could do it almost like a duel where say these, all right, this example. Just pull out some cards here. Get these out of the way. I was thinking this might be my next thing I do here. So you'd have, just to make it easy, you could have teams of 8, but say you had teams of 4. Okay, so here's one team, here's the other team. So you would put them in order by the number down here. So you'd have 8, 22, 50, and 4. So this would be team 1, and you do the same thing for the other team. This would be kind of team would be pretty good. This team would be, and you put those in order, and this would be your matchups through these two guys would fight, and these two guys would fight, and these two guys would fight, and so on. And each team would get a point for a win. Maybe they get 2 points for a knockout, and you could have like a schedule, and you could play it all out, and you could come up with all kinds of narrative wise. You could come up with anything you wanted, really. But so that's the game. Um, Obviously, it'd be cool if you had a cool card with some art and you know fancy stuff. But for right now, I just have this just because I'm the only one really playing it, messing around with it. So um, yeah, if you made it this far, be curious to see any comments, what you think, any ideas other than what you saw, and like I said, it's just kind of a work in progress. I don't know if it'll ever come to anything, but I'm having fun with it. The tournament was really fun um, to see kind of how it all played out. I think, like I said, I might do the team thing next. That might be a longer project. I may shorten a little bit, but maybe have uh, just as a quick 4 teams with 8 fighters, and like a round robin, they play each other and go from there. But so no, don't really have a name for this. Like I said, the theme of it is post-apocalyptic. Mad Max. There's prisons. There could be any theme to this. It could be, back in the Stone Ages. You could come up with, where they're just bare knuckle fist fighting. That's kind of what I'm thinking here. It's not really modern fighting with gloves. They might have like, wraps or something on their hands or whatever. But it'd be definitely a little bit far away from modern boxing. Maybe they're in the steel cage, something like that. But all right, uh, so yeah, Brennan um, won it. You know, 3-0 over Finley for the championship. So I think I'll end with that. And thanks for watching. And again, if you have any comments, thoughts, let me know in the comments. Thanks. Bye.